I'm Melissa Ambers, and I'm the author of Beyond Business as Usual, Leading in the Digital Era. And I wanted to share with you a quick snippet on going into the digital era and the importance of building a digital strategy and some of the things that you really need to look at as you're preparing to build that digital strategy. In our book in chapter 5, we talk a little bit about that and we go into adapting into the digital environment. I know for some it may be a little bit more difficult than others, but embracing and just adapting into that new area for the ones that's doing a really big shift and going into the digital era and transforming your daily operations. As you know, in today's society or business world, that AI did the digital transformations, operation transformation, technology, all of these things are here. They're not going anywhere, and it's really important that organizations start to transform and understand how to move into that digital era. In one of the sections, like I said in our book in chapter 5, is titled, it's a subsection, Adaptability in the Digital Environment. The digital environment is dynamic and ever evolving. Adaptability is crucial, and EI plays a pivotal role. For those of you that have not purchased the book, we talk about EI, which is emotional intelligence, throughout the book. So if you hear EI, that's what we're referring to, emotional intelligence. Facilitating change acceptance. Change can be met with resistance, but EI helps individuals and teams accept and adapt to new technologies and processes. Enhancing resilience. Resilience is vital in the face of digital disruptions. EI enables individuals to bounce back from setbacks and challenges. Promoting continuous learning. EI fosters a culture of continuous learning and growth, allowing organizations to stay ahead in rapidly changing digital landscape. That is a subsection in chapter 5, adaptability in the digital environment. So it's really important that you look at your organization, assess what needs to be done, work with your team, um, understand what their frustrations are, what are they missing, are the tools that you have in place, is it really working, is it taking more time, do you have to hire extra people to get through a certain process when you really don't have to because you have such an old system. So I would really encourage you to really do a deep dive and assess how your organizations are working, the systems, tools, processes that you're working with, and if everyone is properly trained. Are you really utilizing all the features that your system has, if it is the right system for your organization? Or do you really need to sit down, look at some things, and invest in a system that is more efficient and effective for your organizations? Thank you for listening in. I'm Melissa Ambers, author of Beyond Business as Usual, Leading in the Digital Era. Hi, I'm Melissa Ambers, author of Beyond Business as Usual, Leading in the Digital Era. In this recording, it's going to be really quick, but we really wanted to hit on this point of communication gaps. These gaps can cause a problem throughout your organization, which leads to rumors, misinformation, um, things getting back to others that shouldn't be, and it can just, it could just escalate and get bigger and bigger. We really want to hit on those communication gaps and how you can eliminate the issue of having those. The problem: when there are communication gaps, employees may rely on informal channels for information. This can spread rumors, misunderstandings, and inaccurate information about the changes, causing confusion and anxiety. Solution: implement a robust communication plan that includes regular updates from leadership. Provide a central source of accurate information, such as an intranet or dedicated communication platform to dispel rumors and ensure employees is on the same page. Next problem. Lack of clear communication can result in employees not fully understanding their new roles and responsibilities during the transition. This can lead to decreased productivity and frustration. The solution: clearly define new roles and expectations for employees, offer training and support to help them navigate their change roles effectively. Problem: when employees feel that they are not adequately informed about the reasons for change or how it would impact them, they are more likely to resist the changes. Solution: engage in two-way communication, encourage employees to voice their concerns and provide feedback, address their questions and concerns transparently and empathetically. Problem: sometimes leadership may not fully understand or appreciate the concerns and challenges employees face during the change process. This can create a disconnect between leaders and the workforce. Solution: foster a culture of open dialogue where leaders actively listen to employees. Conduct regular town hall meetings, focus groups, or surveys to gain insights into employee perspectives and concerns. So I gave you the problems and solutions of majority of times what really does happen if you're not going through it like right now, and offered you some solutions. So look at those when you have employee gaps and really make sure that you're being open, clear, and that they are answering that any questions that are brought in that they are actually answered, regardless of how small or big it is. Give your staff that opportunity to voice their opinions and ask the questions so they can feel comfortable and not assume. And again, rumors, miscommunication, and they're spending more time of worrying, the anxiety of, will I have a job, they're going to decrease my pay, do I have to move to a different department? All of these different things run through their mind. So open up a way that you can have dialogue with your staff and give them the opportunity to hear what is going on directly and not through hearsay. And that will take away any type of confusion or miscommunication. Thanks for listening to this session. I'm Melissa Ambers, author of Beyond Business as Usual, Leading in the Digital Era. Hi, I'm Melissa Ambers, and I'm the author of Beyond Business as Usual, Leading in the Digital Era. We've been going through the chapters and snippets throughout the book to really show you how this can be a tool for your organization and maybe even part of the curriculum for some professors to teach business students how to um, understand business is not the same, and this could be a guide for them on leading into some of those real world um, things that can happen to help them through that. And as far as organizations, this can really be a great resource on navigating those changes and showing you how to lead into the digital era, doing things differently, eliminating wasted time, productivity, being efficient. All of these different things can play a part of your organization not being run really well, or you're losing funds by hiring more people than you really need, utilizing the wrong systems. So there's so many, things that could be within the organization. And this is just not for, your really large organization. This could be for any size business that's not really looking at what could or could not be. Today we're going to talk about navigating change. This is part of chapter 7, and we did a change framework where change is the acronym, because change is important. Change is what helps us grow. Change is what helps us be successful. So we just really have to look at that and understand how to go through the motions. So in chapter 7, we start out with embracing change, and then we go into the framework. So I'll start there. Strategies for embracing change. Change is inevitable, especially in today's dynamic business landscape. It can be a catalyst for growth and innovation, but it also comes with challenges. Through this chapter, you'll explore strategies to not just manage, but to embrace it, ensuring a smoother transition for both leaders and employees. Understanding the change framework. C, communicate effectively. Open, robust, and frequent communication is paramount during periods of change. Leaders must clearly articulate the reasons for change, its benefits, and the expected impact on the organization. We talked about this early in one of my other recordings on bringing in your staff, really communicating, letting them know what's happening, why is it happening, make them part of the process. So not only can you get their input, but they can hear what's going on, and you can hear the feedback, because they're the ones that's in the trenches. They're the ones that's experiencing the phone calls, the frustrations from the customers, or the customers that's upset, systems not working because it's taking too long, and all these other things that may be happening. So we talked about this earlier on bringing them in to get them involved with the process. H, harness employee involvement. Engage employees in the change process, solicit their input, address their concerns, and involve them in decision making. When employees feel like active participants, they are more likely to embrace change. We talked about this. Making them involved, exactly this is what will help you go through that process easier. And when it comes down to training, that process will be easier for you to go through. A, adaptability. Cultivate a culture of adaptability within your organization. Encourage employees to be flexible and open to new ways of working. Recognize and reward adaptability as a value trait. N, nurture leadership. Effective leadership is critical during change. Leaders must lead by example, demonstrating their commitment to the change and guiding their teams through the transition. G, gather feedback. Continuously gather feedback from employees and stakeholders throughout the change process. Use this feedback to make necessary adjustments and address emerging challenges. E, empower and educate. Provide employees with the tools, resources, and training they need to succeed in the change environment. Empower them to make ownership of their roles within the new landscape. Is everything that we talked about before in previous recordings and now. Include your employees, make them part of that process. It will make this so much easier as you go through it, because they're involved, and then by them being involved, they're pretty much taking it back to their teammates and letting them know, hey, this is going to be better because this is happening. We had trouble with this system, or this wasn't working, or this was taking too long. We're getting ready to change that. We're going to be able to do this better. And then it also opens the door for you to see the employees that really shouldn't be there. They were hired because you thought you needed those extra bodies, and that's exactly what they are, an extra body. So now it also opens the door for that as well, for those that you can clean house and keep the employees that's really there to help you be a successful organization. Thank you for listening to this session. I am Melissa Ambers. author of Beyond Business as Usual, Leading in the Digital Era. Thank you. Hi, I'm Melissa Ambers, author of Beyond Business as Usual, Leading in the Digital Era. Today we want to hit on outsourcing and unbiased training. Outsourcing, some organizations are, all open doors for it, but more are not. And, if you look at studies, you will see most organizations don't want to spend the extra funds to bring in a consultant or any type of outsource company or anything. We got such and such, they can do it. Let's add this onto their plate, or let's take something off their plate, give it to somebody else so we could bring them in to do certain thing. This is where the unbiased training comes into play. Outsourcing, they have nothing to gain. You're going to get a true picture and understanding of what is and what isn't. Using someone internal, that even though I'm not saying that it's not anything they would do on purpose or anything, but they tend to be biased toward a certain thing, whether it's a system, process, the way you got the organization laid out. It's a variety of things that they could be biased towards. So, of course, they're going to make it. They're going to give you the true numbers, give you the information that you may need, but it's not going to be fully accurate because they're going to hold back on something because they want something to go their way. This is an opportunity for me to have something to go my way. So, of course, they're going to use that. That's just, natural. That's what's going to happen. Even even though they may try their best not to do that, it's going to happen simply because I have to be here every day. These are the things that I have to do. And I've already experienced how to work the system, the process, or whatever. So if I hate it, I'm going to do everything that I can to try to get it out and bring in something else. If I love it or it's okay, I'm going to do everything that I can to make sure that we try to keep this so we don't have to go through all this training and have extra time, extra work that we have to do to shift everything and to do things differently. So outsourcing is always recommended when you're getting ready to redo systems, rewrite your SOPs, change your organization, revamp leadership, all those different things. So you can really see what's happening. So while you're going through these motions, that consultant can give you some more data or real data to let you see what's happening. So while you're laying out and doing all these things, you could take care of those things right then and not have to worry about it later to where it's going to take you extra time or extra funds to take care of those things. One of the sections in the book, we talk about outsourcing. This particular section is called The Role of Outsourcing in Unbiased Training. One often overlooked aspect of fostering a culture of continuous learning is the importance of unbiased training. When organizations rely solely on internal resources for training, they risk perpetuating existing biases and limiting perspectives. We just talked about that. Executives should consider outsourced training and development programs to eliminate this potential bias trap. Outsourcing brings a fresh perspective and an impartial approach to training. It can provide a broader view of industry best practices and cutting-edge innovation. By investing in external training resources, executives ensure that their teams are exposed to diverse viewpoints, methodologies, and experiences. This not only embraces the quality of learning, but also promotes a culture of inclusion and diversity within the organization. So consider outsourcing, look at the companies, do your research, figure out, what we need to have done. You don't have to have all the answers. So don't worry about, oh, before I call them, I need to tell them what I need and how I need it done. That's their job. They will come in and help you look at those things and figure those things out. So don't worry about that. Don't, try to gather all these different things to lead them in a direction. Only thing you need to do is one is make sure that it is a reputable company and that of course it fits your budget. And any good consultant, even if it's not fitting your budget at the moment, they will lay everything out for you and say, okay, we can phase this out. It may take you a little longer to get it done, but this is how we can phase it out. In each phase, this is what we'll do at this rate. And they'll just work with you in that aspect. Um, and when you bring in the consultant, just, the conversation you're going to have is, what are your concerns? I don't know if it's right. I don't know if we need to do these things. And that's okay to go in with, I don't know, because now you're giving them something to look at. I know I need to really look at this area you're unsure of. You don't know why you're unsure of, or these are some things that has been happening, and I know I really need to look at these things because of XYZ. So those are the things that you need to look at and really uh, be prepared with once you bring in a consultant, or even if you're interviewing various consultants, giving them, the information to see how they respond and how you feel comfortable with them with that information. So look at outsourcing to get you a true assessment of what is or what isn't within your organization. And it doesn't matter how large or small you are. Thank you for listening to this session. I'm Melissa Ambers, Beyond Business as Usual, leading in the digital era. Thank you so much. Hi, I'm Melissa Ambers, and I'm the author of Beyond Business as Usual, leading in the digital era. We have moved all the way to chapter 11, and this is really getting into creating that roadmap to get you there. As before, we'll hit some highlights. We wouldn't have the time. This could be a really lengthy video if we really did a deep dive with it. But creating that roadmap, this I think is so important and crucial for you to use in this book. Even though it started in chapter 11, everything that you hit before you got to chapter 11 is preparing you. So when you get here, it's like, okay, this is how I can put these things in place. This is what I need to do to make some of these things happen. So to start creating your roadmap, first you want to define the vision. And once you define the vision and get that understood, you'll have an idea of what direction you want to go. Take a collaborative approach. Get your team involved. Make sure that there's clear communication, there's open dialogue as you're working through this process and this roadmap. Create a step-by-step plan. And with that step-by-step plan, you want to make sure that you set milestones and objectives. This will keep everybody on task. There's a clear communication of what is needed or isn't needed and how you're going to go through there. And most of you already know about the SMART goals. We talk about that in here too, as you're creating your roadmap, is utilizing that methodology as you're going through to make sure you're outlining things. Allocating your resources, measuring your process, communicating and engaging. The importance of effective communication and engagement. I'll hit some highlights in this section. Leadership visibility, open door policy, two-way communication, clear vision, engagement initiatives, feedback incorporation, training and support. Fostering a culture of continuous improvement, potential outcomes of fostering a culture of continuous improvement. And, with this roadmap, if you follow this step by step and you really take the time to dig in through this process, not only will you have a really amazing, effective plan, but you're going to start to see how easy it is as you're going through this, and as how easy it's going to be working with your team, and your team really jumping in and helping you with, what's happening, how you're doing these things, and just following through with your plan, and just making sure that you're staying on task, that you're hitting those milestones. If you're not going to hit a milestone for whatever reason, make sure that it's logged and that it's documented. What problem did you hit? What obstacle did you hit right here? So now this could be a way right here. Now that this obstacle is here, do we need to stay here a little longer because we got to fix this? This is bigger than what we really thought it was. And that may happen, and that's okay, because you found the problem and now you have the opportunity to fix it. So if you have to stay there a little longer, that's okay, and push other things back, or dedicate a team to stay here and don't move till this gets taken care of. And then the remaining of your team can continue with that roadmap, and they can keep moving while this team here is that they're sitting here trying to figure out, okay, we need to fix this, what we need to put in place, how do we need to, make this happen. So make sure that you have a good plan and that you figure out the roadmap for your organization and how you need to follow through with that. Thanks again for listening to this session. I'm Melissa Ambers, author of Beyond Business as Usual, Leading in the Digital Era.